G'day, it's Pete here, and I'm going to do a special feature today where I'm going to go through some of the hands that I played at a recent Waverley event, the Waverley Graded Swiss Pairs, which was held last Friday. Anyway, I'm just going to go through and pick one of my favourite hands from each of the matches of that set. So we'll just jump right into it and I'll talk about what I found interesting about these boards. So this first board was actually the very first board of the day, and our opponents bid to a Grand Slam and they were one trick shy. That wasn't really the main feature of the thing that I wanted to cover, but I'll just talk through what happened. So it went one heart and it went pass, and this player here had a balanced 20 count, so obviously they're interested in slam. So they just jumped straight to 4 no trumps. Now, first of all, I don't like this approach just yet. I reckon you can slow these auctions down. So even though you're definitely going to, at some point, bid 4 no trump, I think it's important to tell partner that you've got a game-forcing hand with a fit yet first, and find out that little bit more extra information about their hand before you just race off. Anyway, the auction continued and they went 5 spades and they bid 5 no trump. And they had a misunderstanding about what response 6 diamonds showed, and they bid 7 no trump. Now, they weren't the only people in the room to bid grand, so lots of people bid grand, or at least some did. But the key thing here is I think it's really important to discuss what your 5 no trump response is after 4 no trump. Now, one of them thought it was 14-30 for kings, the other one thought it was 30-41. I don't like either of those. What I do like is specific king. So if you've got the king of clubs, you bid it. If you've got the king of diamonds, you bid it. If you've got the king of hearts, well, you've already shown the king of hearts with your key card response because that's the trump suit. And if you got the king of spades, you tend not to worry about it unless your hand's really good for it. Because there's sometimes knowing about a particular king is more important than how many kings. So my preferred response to 5 no trump is specific king. Anyway, there was another interesting thing about this hand. Well, I led a spade. Now, basically, just about discarding. On this hand, some people made 13 tricks because both East and West decided to hold on to their diamonds. Now, as the actual play went, they get some discards, and I think East has a really critical discard here. It became obvious that East wanted to throw at least 1 diamond away in the play, but what my partner Justin did was he threw the jack of diamonds away. Now, throwing away honours early on in defense is a really good way to clear up the defense and make it easy for your partner. What you do is you throw away an honor to say, I have this suit from here on down. So I've got the jack, the 10, the 9. Or if you throw away the king, you got the king, queen, jack. Basically, you say, I've got this suit locked up. People really love to have like a signal that says, I've got this. That is a lot more murky. He threw the jack away. I knew I could throw every single one of my diamonds. And after I did that, he realised he could throw all his diamonds away because South threw theirs away as well. But basically, when he threw the jack away, I could see that he had the diamonds covered, so I didn't need to protect my king of diamonds here, and it made it really easy for me to hold on to my queen third club. Whereas if he threw something saying, I like diamonds, I wouldn't know how clear a signal it is or what he's actually got. So throwing away honours is a really critical thing and can be done to show that you have this suit really well covered. So if you know you're going to throw away a suit and you've got that suit like Queen, Jack, 10, 9, throw the Queen away. If you've got Jack, 10, 9 and you're going to throw one away, throw the Jack away. Let your partner know. Clear it up. Anyway, I thought there was a couple of important points in this hand. The second board was kind of interesting because this is one of the biggest mistakes I made of the day. We're playing against a precision pair that opened 1 club, and it went 2 no trumps, which was sort of balanced, and they got to 3 no trump, and my partner doubled this. Now, when you have like these auctions like this where they've clearly got the points for game, double usually says, partner, if you find a specific lead, I think we can beat this. Now, as you can see, this north hand had really good clubs. And if I lead a club, we were going to take the first 5 tricks. Whereas if I lead anything else, they actually make 11 tricks. So on the hand, using double to say I want a specific lead. Now, most people use it for one of 2 options. Either I want a spade lead, or what we tend to use it for is I want your shorter major lead is a couple of options. But here what I failed to realise is that if partner had a good suit, they could have just overcalled. They could have bid a diamond, a heart or a spade. The only suit that they couldn't bid at the 1 level was clubs. So here, double should actually ask for leading a club. But it's kind of useful to have these doubles asking for lead direction in certain things, but you want it to be clear. Anyway, I led a heart. That was a big fat fail on our part, and we gave away 3 no trump doubled, making 11. But interesting to note, what are these doubles where they've clearly got the point, so you're not just expecting to beat it a lot of tricks, but using the double to ask for a specific lead. Anyway, moving on to match number 3. This was another interesting board where I passed in first seat and my partner opened 1 no trump in third seat favourable, and East made a double. Now I've got this really good hand. I'm interested in game. One thing is that in our partnership in third seat, I know that we bend the rules. I told my opponents about this and things like that. He might not quite have his 15 to 17 that he usually has, but could have something slightly unusual. So third seat favourable, some people bend the rules, but if you do and you know your partnership does it, you should inform your opponents as well. But at any rate, I started with 2 clubs, which we still used as stamen, and my partner bid not 2 diamonds, they bid 2 hearts, and so my hand's fantastic. I definitely think that we're going to go to game, but what we do is, I know that they've made a penalty double, so they've tried to penalise us in 1 no trump, so I bid 3 hearts, which basically says we're going to go to game. Like the way we invite, me and Justin don't really like inviting really much, but basically we use invites to say, if you haven't stretched into your first bid, please accept. We really like accepting game invites. We don't like passing them out. Anyway, it went on and he bid 3 spades because there was another possibility, but anyway, we got it to 4 hearts. And then this player doubled. Now, the important thing I wanted to point out here is this East player doesn't have anything more than their original double. They doubled 1 no trump. Their partner knew that they've got 15 or more points. We knew that he's got 15 or more points, and we still chose to bid game. So under these circumstances, you don't need to double again. Your opponents know what's going on. Now, it turned out we made pretty comfortably, but like doubling, like double, first double, good. This second double is terrible. Like if your partner had a defensive trick, they could double. They know that you've got 15 or more points. Your opponents know that you have 15 or more points and still go looking for game. So in that sense, I really don't like this double. I think it's poor. Also, looking at how many defensive tricks you've got 1 guaranteed club trick. You might have a spade trick. You might have a diamond trick. Every suit is breaking well for them. There is no surprises on this hand. So I think this second double was a really poor double, and we got a nice generous 590 out of that. Anyway, main point on this hand, once you've described your hand, you don't need to keep describing it, especially if your opponents are aware that you're interested in penalising at the 1 level, and they bid game, they're not completely foolish. Give them some respect. You don't need to double them again just because you had your original 15 points. They're aware of it. Give them some respect. Don't give away those bad scores. This board from the next set was a really interesting one. East-West can bid 7 spades, but it's really awkward to bid. I'll just talk through what our auction was, and we had some gadgets and we got reasonably close there. So we opened 1 club, basically short club. It had a few other things, and my partner, we play transfer responses, so they bid 1 heart. So it's effectively the exact same as if it's gone a club past a spade. You don't need to worry about any of the other stuff, but we do play transfers. Now we've got a really nice bid here, and there's no reason that other people can't use it. But we play a jump to 4 clubs, says I have a distributional raise to 4 spades. I've got at least 6 clubs, I have 4 spades, and I have a good hand. I want to go to game on the basis of my distribution and my good club suit. So basically, this says we have a spade fit, and I wanted to go to 4 spades, and I'm just letting you know that I've got this good club suit as well. How does that work for you? Anyway, my partner bid 4 hearts, which was now a Q bid, saying he's got first or second round control of hearts, but not diamonds. And my hand is still fantastic for this, so I bid 4 no trump. We've got, so Blackwood, and my partner said they've got 0 or 3, so I know that they've got 3, or else they wouldn't have Q bid along the way. So 4 no trump, and my partner's got 3 key cards. So we've got all the key cards, and I bid 5 no trumps. And at this stage, this comes back to the hand that I described earlier where we show specific kings. My partner bid 6 clubs. He didn't have any kings, but he had some extra stuff. Now, this would usually show the king of clubs, but under these circumstances, I knew that if my partner was looking at the king of clubs, an ace king to 4 spades, and the ace of hearts, he would know that we could make 13 tricks whenever spades were 3-2 and just bid grand slam. So I knew he wasn't looking at the king of clubs, so based on that, I chose just to bid 6 spades. And it happened that on clubs breaking 3-2, 7 spades was nice and easy to make. Basically, they led a spade, I won it, I played a club to the ace, and I ruffed a club high, I crossed back to the 10 of spades, I ruffed a club high, I claimed, and that was 13 tricks. But main point I wanted to bring up on this hand was the gadget of bidding 4 clubs, which basically says I've got a raise to 4 spades, and I've got like 6 good clubs, and I've got 4 spades and a decent hand. Just in case that helps you bid a slam off the basis that there is a good club suit there. Got us pretty close. Didn't quite manage to bid the grand slam, but had a decent auction to get close to it. In the next set, this comes back to a similar point. The auction went this and went 1 diamond, 1 heart, and I doubled to show 4 spades, and it went a 2 heart raise. I personally would have bid 3 hearts on this hand. You've got some distribution, the vulnerability is right, you've got 4 card support, and you can use this as a preemptive raise. Anytime you've got a good hand for your partner, you can bid 2 diamonds, the opponent's suit, as a Q raise. This just says, a jump to 3 hearts says I got 4 card support and a bit of distribution. Anyway, they bid 2 hearts, which allowed us room to get into the auction, and my partner bid 2 no trumps, which either showed 18, 19 points, or a balanced hand, or a good hand with diamonds. Now, that was just what we do, but usually if you had this auction, 2 no trumps should still be 18, 19 balanced. We just had this extra option here. And this east hand jumped to 4 hearts, not unreasonably, and we bid 5 diamonds, because I've got this fantastic diamond suit, and this went pass, pass, and they doubled. So again, this hand comes back to thinking about how many defensive tricks you have. Here, they have no defensive tricks in hearts. They've got king, 5th heart, so the king's not likely to get a heart trick. They've got ace, king, queen, jack of spades. That is not going to take 4 spade tricks against diamonds. We do not have a spade fit. Yes, south showed spades, north didn't like spades, so it might take 2 spade tricks, but hoping that you get 3 spade tricks on this is very, very optimistic. So I really don't like the double here. You might have thought that you might make 4 hearts, that's fine, but you don't have the defensive tricks here to try and beat it. On a bad day you get 1 spade trick, on a good day you get 3 spade tricks, but if that happens I'd just be happy. Also note that your opponents are vulnerable. So respect your vulnerable opponents. They're not just sacrificing 5 diamonds. Anyway, the other thing is it went redouble. And most people don't use the redouble card enough, but as North, my partner, knew looking, if vulnerable against Not, I was happy to bid 5 diamonds, then he knew that if I've got the king of diamonds and say the king of clubs, then that is good enough to make 5 diamonds. If I've got the king of diamonds and the ace of spades, or the king of spades, that's probably good enough. I've clearly got a heart shortage. This hand is very easy to redouble here. When the opponents try and penalize you and they make a mistake and they can't run anywhere, redouble, put them under some pressure. Anyway, we scored 1,000 for this, and that was a top. Anyway, the final board I want to talk about is here, where I opened 3 hearts on these south cards. Yeah, most people saw that just the 6 card suit and either opened a multi 2 diamonds or opened 2 hearts. Vulnerability wise, if you are favorable vulnerability and you've got a bit of distribution, I generally like just upping the preempt by 1 level just for being favorable. If I had a really bad hand with like no singleton or a really bad heart suit, maybe I'd open 2. But here I've got a reasonable heart suit, not the ace king. I've got a singleton. I think this is a really good 3 heart bid. I don't like opening just 2 hearts on this hand. Favorable vulnerability, consider just upping it a level. Anyway, this West hand made a poor choice here of making a takeout double because they have a decent hand. They've got spades. But what they can't handle is their partner bidding a minor. They know their partner won't bid 3 no trump. They know their partner, if they don't have spades, will bid a minor, and they can't handle this. So while this is a decent hand, I think this hand is appropriate for a pass. Your partner is very likely to have a short heart. If they have a short heart and points, they will double. You will not miss a game. If your partner doesn't have short hearts or doesn't have points, you don't want to be entering into this auction. So here, I think it is much better just to pass this hand. Anyway, it went double, pass, and East bid 4 diamonds. And in the fullness of time, they actually went 3 off in this for minus 300, and a fantastic result for us. Anyway, the main point of this hand is without the shortness here, you don't need to make a takeout double. If they had like another queen or something, I would have just bid 3 no trumps with their hand, but I think it's perfectly reasonable just to pass this. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this recap of Waverley's Friday graded Swiss pairs. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.